empowering minds, amplifying voices, and transforming lives. This is the Untold Stories of Hope podcast, brought to you by the Destiny Connect Foundation. Your hosts, Zion Enogewu and Puffy Medupe.
Wherever you are all over the world, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Untold Stories of Hope podcast, brought to you by Destiny Connect Foundation. It's always an honor to be in this platform just to greet you and share information with you. And I'm your host, Puffy Medupe, all the way from South Africa. And you know, I'm always not alone. I'm with my co-host, Mr. Zion Enogewu. And we are excited because today we have so much great impactful knowledge and information that we want to share with you. And remember that with Untold Stories of Hope podcast, you can always follow us, Destiny Connect Foundation on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and you can also check our YouTube channel where you can subscribe, watch our videos, like, and share them. And you can also send us an email by checking there in our website, destinyconnectfoundation.org. You can find our contacts there where you can send us an email so that you can be able to share your untold story that can impact the world. And we are grateful today to be, announcing one of the most, phenomenal women who comes in the digital and technological world. She's vibrant, she's energetic, creative. She's always smiling. When I saw her earlier before the show began, she was just bubbly and smiling and enjoying being in the platform. Her name is Felicia Baxter. She's here in South Africa around Joburg. If you don't know Johannesburg, book your flight and fly to South Africa so that you can see this beautiful city here in South Africa. She's the head of marketing and social media at JDC Exec. I mean, that's a big role. It shows that she's very much, hands-on in terms of creativity and solutions. And she's good with combining strategic insight with creative execution, in terms of drafting these campaigns and to drive visibility in terms of branding. And she also is an expert in terms of audience growth, and she strategizes, purpose creating lasting impact online. So she does a lot of online work, online strategy, creativity, solution. So ladies and gentlemen, today here on Untold Stories of Hope podcast, we are welcoming Ms. Felicia Baxter. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here and share where I can today.
That's amazing. So we are talking about the impact of social media today. We are talking about something, in your understanding, what does social media mean according to you? Because we've got so many ideologies, we've got so many definitions, and beliefs around social media. Everyone wants to come with their own term. And sometimes social media is being misinterpreted and not properly understood. So I think let it be the first thing that we talk about. What is social media?
So I'm going to take it even a step back, is to understand the different types of marketing we get and where social media marketing falls into that. So for example, we all know traditional marketing. So everyone knows about a billboard, they know about branding on a t-shirt. So that's what we call anything you can physically touch is called traditional marketing. Then that went, and then we got to the online space where people did websites and social media came in. That is then called your digital marketing. So social media is part of your digital marketing space. So it's one of the tools you use in your full aspect of marketing. So you need your traditional, you need your digital, and social media is one of the tools you'll use in your digital marketing strategy, just like you would use your email marketing, as well as you would do your websites and stuff like that. So social media is part of the collective thing we call digital marketing. And yes, and even social media has gone and grown so much. Social media is not just like a little post that you post on social media. Social media is even a community now. That's where we're wanting to go, which goes into something we called Web3 marketing, where people are wanting to go. We're wanting that community. And social media is that part that it plays in creating the start of that community, because people want to connect with like-minded people. We don't want to just be bombarded with all this nonsense everywhere. We want to connect with people. We want to learn something. And it is a learning platform, like literally for younger generations. TikTok is their new Google.
Yeah,
So
and that's
it's a
powerful.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's powerful because it's a community. And really, we need to structure the idea of social media. And that's why I started by saying, let's understand this concept of social media. So tell me, can you share a defining moment when you realize the power of social media, to create real impact? Because obviously, based on what I said earlier, most people use social media, for fake things, things that are not so, they use it for fiction. But when was it, when did you realize that defining moment when you realize that, oh, social media can actually create real impact?
Yeah. So, I mean, the real impact can be in different things. For me, it could be something as a community. Say, for example, I'm going to use one that's connecting to me is I'm in marketing myself, I'm in social media myself. And by connecting to people who do what I do, I was able to not only connect with people who struggle with the things I struggle with, was able
Yeah,
to go, oh my goodness, thank goodness there's other people who feel the way I do. And that
yeah,
could be you're not isolated. So in this world where everyone is online and stuff like that, or we're not necessarily visiting people, social media has this ability, if done correctly, to make
yeah,
the world feel smaller again.
yeah,
And if you have a problem, we can see it a lot in smaller niches, like people who've got disabled children. They are now connecting with people who have the same problems that their children are having, and they're not isolated. That's like maybe making that emotional impact. The other thing is we're now not limited to having to do physical business. Social media has opened the ability to make money globally. So
wow,
we are able to do in our company. I can sit, I do subscriptions, and people join me on a webinar. I could have someone this Thursday gain the skills and knowledge that they need, but they are sitting in a different company, in a different country like America. That's making real impact in a person being able to learn. But as a business, it allows me to not only be able to earn in South Africa, it's rands. I have now the
yeah,
ability to tap into foreign currency and expand my business, the business that we work in, which gives a real impact. It's not just a silly trend video. It's real
yeah.
impact on small businesses. Can also do that. They have an opportunity to reach people that they would never have been able to reach had they just gone and given out flyers at the stop
That's
street.
good. And what you're saying is very much powerful because there are people who just wake up and use social media for fun. So I'm glad that in that regard, people can know that look, you can actually improve your life, better your life, and better the lives of others through social media. And now that is a new concept, and I believe that we are now tapping into that. And as you mentioned, about emotional support in what you said.
Mm.
Have you ever received a message from someone, whose life has changed because of your content? And how did that make you feel? Waking up and somebody tells you, hey, you know what, Felicia, you said this or you did that or you posted this, and believe you me, I'm here where I am because of what you did.
So it's maybe not necessarily like the content I did for the marketing agency, but I can say for the content I've done for part of our brand, which is Dr. Yanine Dekabu, which is she's a coach as well. She's part of the DCF community as well, and
Yeah,
how we've seen businesses who've literally said, okay, I don't know where to go, and at the end of it have said, I can't believe my business looks so different. I'm actually getting business in, and these are small. One of them was a small business that during COVID lost everything, and through not only the the content we were putting out there, the skills and the coaching. So it's not just the post that went out, it was the support, it was the community building led to a person being able to actually transform their business through the correct connections that were established through the social media. So that's always a great thing to see. It's also like nonprofits, when people actually you see them, that you're putting out a post, you're hoping people's lives are changed or positively impacted. And sometimes for the nonprofit organizations, those positive reels and stuff like that can make a difference in someone's life, saying, listen, I was in a very low point. This really brought a smile to my face. And it makes that impact. So it's even the small comments, or like for me, the biggest ones is if someone catches my joke. I know it's not as big impact, but the world can sometimes be so dark. And sometimes the humor that we can bring can really also make a positive impact. So those are also my favorites as well. So yes, we can make deep impact by, changing businesses' lives from the tools and skills that we share that lead to more one-on-one things, or nonprofits, as well as the lightheartedness that can help skill people and make someone's day is also important.
Yeah, just a simple smile, just to make someone smile, man. I mean, people are going through a lot. If you've just tuned in now, you're still watching Untold Stories of Hope podcast, brought to you by Destiny Connect Foundation, with me, Parfumi P, all the way from South Africa. Man, we're talking about the power of social media for impact. And you know what I told you? Destiny Connect Foundation cares about you so much that we have Felicia, Baxter, talking about this powerful topic. So now, let's expand a bit. We are living in a world where safety, sometimes is compromised. Sometimes, social media, we know cases all over the world whereby people sometimes get trafficked and all these things, especially if you put your face out there. I mean, with you doing content as well, it means putting your face out there. People see you, people know you, and what was your biggest fear or struggle when you started using social media for impact, and how did you overcome that? Because there are people now who are being limited. They can't even start doing their work on social media because of that fear and struggle of their safety, and all those things.
So I think each individual is going to approach social media differently in terms of how much they're willing to share. And that's okay. So you need to find out what that looks like for you. So for some people, it'd be like, okay, I'm only going to talk about my business. This is the only thing. And you create your social media according to that. Some people are more influencer type content, or they're open to sharing more about their lives. They're going to share more about that. So, but you don't have to share your face. You don't have to. Does it work? Yes, because people connect with people and they're going to relate to a person. But you as an individual can share how much you're willing to put out there, how much privacy you're wanting to do it. For example, our business pages, they are business pages. Dr. Jennings is it is a very business profile, but you're still connecting with a person, because there are certain things that you as a business, who are you wanting to talk to, and make sure that who you're wanting to talk to is still going to get what they need out of it, without you having to compromise what you feel is you needing to keep private. Some people don't post their children. That's fine. If that's a safety concern for you, which is a valid concern for a lot of people, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if it's maybe I don't want to show where I stay, which is also a thing, then you don't need to. You don't even, small things that people do is you don't post live when you're at a certain place. If that's what your safety concern, you'll post slightly later. If you were at that, if you concerned about your safety and stuff like that. But nowadays, the way that social media is created, it can look live, but it was done 5 days ago.
Yeah.
So there is ways to protect yourself, and it's just sitting down and say, okay, what am I okay with sharing? But also what's appropriate for what I'm posting. For example, if I'm as a business for JDC Exec, it's a professional business. We're a brand. I'm going to share what we do in the office. I'm not going to share with you what I do on the weekend on the business page. So it's just also establishing what's the purpose of the page, because then you're not going to put yourself in a place you might feel more uncomfortable 6 months from now.
That's powerful. I love that. You sound so professional. and, so authentic, because sometimes people mix these things. Sometimes someone doesn't know what to post. They mix business, they mix personal things, and at the end of the day, they cannot even try, draw a line in terms of their own safety and all that. But thank you for that clarity. Now, how do you stay authentic? I mean, let's be realistic. Sometimes content or marketing doesn't go the way you expected. And, so many people out there, they would use social media platform really to, they end up even imposting so many things that are not, actually existent. Some people put even things about their business that they don't do, just trying to inspire people or trying to create this image of saying, I've got it all figured out. How do you stay authentic, especially with the content that you put there?
So with being authentic, it's knowing who you are as an individual, if you're wanting to do as a personal brand, or what is your business. Listen, don't lie online. You're going to be caught up.
Yeah.
Anytime, if you say you can do something, you can't, I promise you, it's going to come out one way or another. And most of the time, it's going to come out in a way that does it doesn't do well for your reputation. So we are very big at JDC on authentic marketing. That means that whatever you're putting out there sounds like you, is like you. So what is it that you want to be perceived online? So for example, I love to use the analogy of we have different legs within our organization. We have Dr. Yenin Dekabu. She is a coach. She's very she is very professional. Then we get our learning social media side of things, which is also professional. But you will catch us doing a trend of dancing. You will catch us rolling on the floor because that is our humor. That's authentic marketing to the individuals who we are. I will never see my boss dancing on a video, but that's authentic marketing. Does that mean she's not humorous? No. We can still bring in her humor, but make sure that it's correct to who you are and who you're talking to. And the other way is don't just post to post.
Okay.
Yes, do post. And if you're posting every day and that works, that's great. But the thing is that not only will you get tired of posting every day with no purpose, but people are also going to get tired of your content. So what we're calling this thing is the call is slow content. So making every post a powerful post. How am I making an impact? And yes, that can be with trend. I love trends. I'm the first one to see how we could incorporate that, but that's appropriate for my brand and how we sound. But it's not necessarily appropriate for a construction company. So think about how can I do a valuable post, and will this content still be relevant to my audience in 6 months?
Yeah.
If I'm saying, am I just speaking nonsense or is it truth? And the biggest way to get authentic marketing is through storytelling. Think about it. If we think back to before social media, everyone loves a story. Everyone loves to connect with the story. So what is your story? What is your business's story? What is your brand story? Is it just a story you can take? That's one of the big things we're seeing right now on social media is these big companies are even doing skits like they're in coffee shops, but it's irrelevant. It's creating a connection to people. And when you're creating content to connect to people instead of just a like, you're also going to create that authentic marketing because
people relate with what they connect. I mean, they connect with what they relate with.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be so concerned about likes and follows as much as people sharing and saving your content, because if you're wanting to look at stats, that's what you're going to look at, because is what I'm saying shareable or am I just talking nonsense? And that's going to lead to or my biggest thing, would you watch what you're putting out there?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people put stuff out there, but they're the first person, once it's posted, not to talk about it. Like, I didn't post that. So being authentic, would you yourself look at that and be proud
and enjoy, and believe in what you have posted? No, I love that. And you've said so many powerful things in terms of that, especially I want to highlight the point that you have made, don't post just for posting. Sometimes people, you lose value of what you are doing simply because you just want to post something and people are not engaging. You don't even believe in what you are posting there. Sometimes people post even information that is not verified, as a form of marketing. And at the end of the day, it also compromises your reputation as a business. Now, I know you mentioned that especially most of the content that you put online is business related. All right. But have you ever shared a deeply personal story on social media? And what was the response and how did that impact you?
So maybe not very like serious, but so my personal social media is an open page as well, and I actually did a small mini series about
Oh,
motherhood,
nice.
about motherhood and the funny things you could do and stuff, and it really, I found that being real and and being who I was online, the quirkiness that I am, there was other people that actually related to it. So funny enough, even though it was a personal thing, very funny, very niched to my personal page, actually
Yeah.
led to business because a person connected with me as a person. And I was able to speak to some another moms and stuff like that that were in the same position as me and reached out for more. So we
Yeah.
have the ability, and I'm just a small little person here in Joburg, and I don't have thousands of followers, but that doesn't matter. I like to like what we like to say is if if you see the views on your reels and stuff, how many times have you stood in front of 100 people and spoken
Yeah.
about what you did? 1,000 people, 5,000 people. Those are people you wouldn't physically stand, but actually sat and listened to what you're saying. So for me, it doesn't matter how big or small your page is, you're still making an impact. So
Yeah.
and it can lead to so many different things. For us, it did actually something very personal and humorous led to business that really didn't connect to me, but that was really cool for me to see that you're not in isolation. Everything in
Yeah.
social media does connect, and it can be a positive thing, either helping someone or even helping your business at a later stage.
Hey, that's powerful, and I know those moms, they're really getting something out of it because those are some of the things, especially when you speak about storytelling. Sometimes, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, that hey, we want to be so professional to a point
Mm,
where we don't connect with people and we don't bring what people relate to. People
mm,
want to see those stories from the coffee shop, and you turn it digitally into a marketing, strategy, and you communicate something to them. So in that regard, let's talk about vulnerability.
mm.
What's the most vulnerable moment you've ever experienced in your social media journey? And how
Well,
did it shape your mission?
so I have the greatest privilege to work with someone who always pushes you to be in that like a good uncomfortable zone, to always be outside of what you used to.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest moments for me of like being vulnerable was our first webinar, where I had to share my knowledge, and I would hope that someone would show up, and then they show up and then be like, okay, I know what I'm going to say, and I have this amazing privilege and to share what I do. And it was very vulnerable because you don't know what's going to happen in that moment. So it did happen, and now it's a year later, almost a year and a half later. Now I do weekly webinars.
Wow.
Yes, so it is sometimes stepping into that uncomfortableness, and then you can grow. So yes, and there's always more that I can do and learn and stuff like that. But that was definitely a very vulnerable moment for me because it was outside my comfort zone. Doesn't Just because you're feeling vulnerable and stuff doesn't mean you don't know what you're going to say or you can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's tapping into that fear, because it's not always fear. Dr. Yanine always says it's not fear, it's actually excitement. So tapping into that excitement and giving what you have inside and sharing it with people.
I'm telling you, someone was saying to me, growth is like that, especially getting out of your comfort zone. And this person was saying to me, look, Puffy, if your mind gets stuck on what you have achieved yesterday, you'll never grow.
Mm, mm,
Because if you always focus on what you achieved yesterday, it means you'll never achieve something better than what you've already achieved. I'll never forget, as a coach myself, my first coaching session didn't go so well. I remember everything I said, the level of vulnerability. And, while I'm speaking there on the platform, I was like, oh my God, am I even doing the right thing here? Is this thing going to work? And it's that element, of growing from there. You will never know your capacity and your abilities if you don't put them out there. Hey, lovely peeps, it's Untold Stories of Hope podcast brought to you by Destiny Connect Foundation. We are still here and we are enjoying ourselves. I'm here with Felicia Baxter. We're talking about the power of social media for impact. If you've just joined us now, I told you can follow Destiny Connect Foundation on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and you can also say destinyconnectfoundation.org. That's our website where you can follow Untold Stories of Hope podcast. We're still continuing. There's quite a few things that we still have to talk about, and I'm sure that you're enjoying this. Felicia, there are people watching all over the world, and there's someone out there somewhere who's stuck. They don't even know what are they gonna do with this social media thing. Some people, they have got pages on social media, they are not growing. Some of them, they feel like they are not receiving the response. What sacrifices have you made to remain consistent in using social media as a tool for impact?
So what I would say is a lot of people have pages, but they're not posting. So just as much as you shouldn't just be posting to post, sometimes this is the uncomfortable part. Sometimes you also just have to show up, even if it's not perfect.
Yes.
And for me, that's uncomfortable for me. Every time I post a video, I get nervous because what if it flops? It's okay if it does. Because sometimes the one that you didn't work the hardest on might go viral. So the biggest thing I would say is get used to being uncomfortable with social media. Things that it is setting time out to do the stuff, because you can't hope that, okay, Monday I'm going to sit and I'll be able to do it. And then I'll do it every week that way. Sometimes you have to make the time and do that batch content, actually sitting down, looking at what other people are doing and educating yourself to see, okay, this is what works. The only way you're going to see what works for your business and your page is by posting, which means the big thing that can go wrong is you're going to get it wrong. But if you don't start or even do anything, you're not going to know what's going to work for you. So sometimes it is the whole time, it's readjusting your strategy. It's readjusting, okay, have I touched all the touch points for my client? Do I have a customer journey? That's the biggest thing I see that happens when we start with businesses. There isn't a journey. And then then you've done all this work, but it's not right because it didn't start right. So that can, as an
the foundation.
You need to go back and then make sure you have that so that your social media talks to each other. So if you have a website, making sure the website is done. So sometimes that is what can be seen as a lot of work and stuff that people forget is, yes, you do need to post, but also make sure that your back end stuff, your business stuff is there, because there's this amazing example of a digital agency in America. They went viral. But they didn't have anything in place. So that was something I didn't need to learn because I learned it from someone else. So the nice thing about social media and people sharing their journeys and being authentic is, we as business owners, brands, influencers, you don't have to make that same mistake. You can learn from it so that you don't have to have that exact same struggle. So that's something we see, is people also knowing who you are, what is your brand voice, and it's sitting and having that strategic meeting either with your own organization, your own marketing department, or with us, where we can help establish that, because that's going to eliminate frustration for you or even for us when helping.
That's powerful. And what I want to talk about now, you mentioned something in what you said, about sometimes the most powerful content, it's that content that you feel so not confident about. I've seen that with my own content when I put it on social media. Sometimes you feel like, okay, I don't think this is going to work. And only to find that that's the exact post that is going to make you go viral, and it gives you the attention you never thought of. But now there are so many people, I don't want to lie, Felicia, there are so many people who quit what they do. They quit, they let go, especially when someone feels like they've done it all. And they feel like, look, I've done it all. I've done my research, I've involved my team, I've done this and that. What was there ever a time in your life when you felt like giving up on social media? And if there was a time as that, what pulled you back and ignited or reignited your passion for social media?
I would say we had a specific campaign and I just wasn't seeing the results or the pages growing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it can be disheartening. I really love social media, so I've never wanted to quit, but I would say I was very frustrated in that moment. And what helped bring it back was social media is not meant to work in isolation. And people think or use social media as the last resort to fix their sales funnels, to bring in all the sales, which it doesn't work. I can say that from personal experience working with brands and our own brands is social media was never meant to be in isolation. It's supposed to be a part of your toolkit. If you had a toolbox, it's one of the tools you're going to use to make your car, not fix your car, make your car, because we want it to run and get better. So you're supposed to use email marketing. You're supposed to still be talking to those people. Because listen, a couple of months ago, TikTok went down for America. And if all of your ducks were, in that basket just for TikTok, you lost your whole audience. So to think about social media as part of everything in your toolkit, you need your website, you need your email marketing, you still need traditional marketing.
To create that balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do need the balance. You need to have all those touch points because, okay, so someone saw my stuff on social media. Now what? Where are you sending them? How are you going to keep engaging with them? Because it's not just about, okay, the now. Where do you want your business in 5 years and how are you going to keep them for the 5 years? The biggest way is to get them onto email. And we've seen the power of that, the email marketing and creating community through email marketing as well. Because now I can talk on social media, be it on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, but I'm following it up with deeper content, long form content on email marketing and getting them to buy from us if that is what you're needing to do. So it needs to always come together. What's in your toolbox? Social media should not be the only screwdriver. You can't build a car with that. So fill it with all the different tools you have from your traditional and your digital, and then the community building, which would be where you're getting to that email marketing, which is got from there.
That's powerful. And you've got a very great leader, Dr. Yanini Dokabo. I know her very well. She's a powerhouse, that one.
She really is.
What you are saying, it's really authentic to say you can't have a toolbox with one, tool. You need to have a variety of tools inside that toolbox so you can be able to do this and do that. And you spoke about something so powerful, that as much as the world is evolving and technology is taking over, there's a lot of digital thing going on, but people forget, the traditional marketing of things, to say it's still working. You can't let go of everything and say, no, this thing is no longer working at all. I mean, you spoke about those email marketing. I mean, it's very profound because you can always personally talk to people through those emails, send them updates, things that you cannot even share on social media publicly, but you can still use that flyer. And maybe there's someone out there who's, exhausted. There are people who've got debts. Felicia, there are people who owe money because they are trying to hire people to get the latest technology, and they stress themselves. And sometimes, even when you have invested so much money into those, platforms and digital tools, and it doesn't work, it's frustrating. But now tell me, if social media didn't exist, how do you think your message of impact would be different by now?
Well, I think because of what we're trying to do as an organization, it's not just this online space. It's basically to empower like businesses and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So even if there wasn't social media, I still I know the job role would have looked different, but we would still be empowering businesses, empowering entrepreneurs, and people that are wanting to learn more about business. So even if there wasn't a digital space, the core of it is, which we love as markets, like me as a marketer, is to share the knowledge I have to empower you to get to your goal that you're wanting to get to. So that might slightly change on how it's delivered, but that is our goal here at JDC, and that's the goal of even social media, is to help connect people and share a message, educate. I mean, the biggest form of social media at this stage is educational content above entertainment. People are wanting to educate themselves through short form content, even with YouTube. YouTube is, everyone's listening to podcasts.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like this
yes,
one.
the delivery has changed, but the purpose of what people are wanting to do from social media is still the same. We're wanting to educate, we're wanting to help people get their businesses out there to help them.
Excellent. I was just thinking, like you were saying, you said something and it reminded me that, what you were saying in context, if social media didn't exist, how do people still go and knock on doors and present what they are doing? Do you still go and say, knock, knock, hi, this is me, this is what I'm doing, can I help you or can I change your life? And that's very much powerful. We are wrapping up now. If you've just joined us now, Untold Stories of Hope podcast brought to you by Destiny Connect Foundation. My name is Puffy Midupo, the way from South Africa, and we are still chilling with the phenomenal Felicia Baxter. She's just opened my eyes in so many things because we speak about the power of social media for impact. And this is what we are talking about. I'm sure that you are learning a lot as viewers out there, wherever you're listening, you're tuning, in audio. We're really grateful for your support. And now, Felicia, what legacy would you love to leave through your social media presence? I mean, we are building a new platform. Social media is expanding, things are growing, but we are now looking forward to the next generation that is coming. So what legacy would you love to leave?
That's a really good question. I really like that. And it really makes you stop and, think about, am I just saying things to say things? It comes back to that. And for me, it would be to empower someone who felt that they couldn't do it. And I could come and say, listen, I started off by not being able to, and simply trying and educating. So whatever I leave behind, using what I have, you can stand from my shoulders and even do better. And making sure that someone after me can know that, listen, if someone like me could do it, who didn't think they would be in this space and be impacting so many people, how much more could they do? Because they have the tools now. They don't have to go look for it. They don't have to figure it out. It's been figured out for them. And that would be my biggest legacy to leave, is to say that they can do it. And don't start where I started, start where I'm finishing. That would be something for me. And that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to take what can be hard and complex, making it simple as possible for people to do more than when we started it off.
You said something there, very powerful. Don't start where I started, start where I finished. I'm telling you, I'm writing this one down. I'm gonna shade that Felicia Baxter said. I love that. It's very powerful because this is what it's about. Continuation. Sometimes I would read books and I'll look at the year that this book was written. I was like, what? So I'm still reading a book of like 100 years back and it's still impactful. That's what we're talking about. So if someone out there, of course, people are going through challenges, Felicia, and sometimes it's hard. People are trying so hard to build their visions off the ground. People are looking forward to, put efforts. Sometimes they're discouraged. And sometimes, they just let go along the way and someone out there is listening. If someone is, scrolling through your social media feed years from now and they come across your content, what hope do you think they would take away from that?
So this is something I'm very, like, from my personal side and the businesses, may it leave someone with a bit more joy, a little more encouragement than what they came on. So may they have started maybe defeated and they could leave with, okay, I can start here. Maybe in the personal be like, okay, I thought I was alone, now I'm not. Someone went through what I went through. And even with our social media, like our Learn social media platform, we do try and make it relatable. there's struggles that we go through, that someone who can come through like, okay, it's normal to have felt this way, but leaving with, okay, but this is what I can do next. So not leaving in that sense of hopelessness, but a sense of action. Like there's that next step, because I feel like often we see stuff, we're like, oh, that's great, but where do I start? But it's creating, okay, this is where I can go next, and it's there for them. That would be something that would be great for whatever platform or any work I do for clients. Would be if someone comes across their stuff, it's not just for the now, it's going to solve a problem, and it's going to lead to a positive impact at a later stage.
When you speak, I just hear a lot of positivity, a lot of power, and determination, to become better and better every day. And I can imagine how many people you are mentoring yourself. It's either you are mentoring them, through your social media platform, through business or personal mentorship. I mean, women like yourself are women that somewhere a girl child needs you, somewhere a vulnerable woman needs you. Everything you said, with so much articulation and passion. I do believe that the future is really bright ahead of you, and there's still a lot of work, Felicia, that you still need to do. And I really commend you and I salute you for that. If someone wants to talk to you and they want to follow you in your social media pages, or how can people get access to you? Because I believe this amount of knowledge and wisdom is what someone needs out there. And I'm sure after people watching this podcast, believe you me, probably messages and communication will be coming through.
So I would say the easiest way, because of course I would in this moment forget my other handle, but the easiest way is, because we do manage it, is our Learn Social Media Instagram, which is at learnsocialmedia.co.za on Instagram and on Facebook. You can connect there, and myself or my colleague Charlize, we would connect with you. Even if it is from a personal perspective, please don't, just because it's the business profile, it's the easiest one for me to connect you with, because we can connect you to the right place, and so that you don't get lost in the filter of things. And yes, definitely a lot of growth and stuff that we're wanting to work with. And I want to say I'm able to do what I do because I have mentorship in my life, because you can only give out if you're getting poured into. So I really want to encourage small businesses and brands and stuff who is speaking into your business. I'm very fortunate to not only have a boss that is a coach and brings in amazing things, but even as an organization, we have additional coaching as well, as part of our business structure. So we're getting, like I would say, coached from every section, and it helps you bring out the best that is in you. So I would say if you can, learn where you can, but get someone to walk that road with you in terms of coaching and stuff. It makes that community smaller, and it makes sure that you can actually actively achieve your goals that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the phenomenal Felicia Baxter, Head of Marketing and Social Media at JDC Exec. We really appreciate your presence today, and we are so humbled by everything that you have shared with us. I told you this is Untold Stories of Hope podcast, brought to you by Destiny Connect Foundation. We never disappoint. I'm sure that everyone is smiling out there. You are just enjoying this content, and we believe that you can also become part of this podcast. I told you that if you've got a story to share, an untold story of hope that can really brighten someone's life, you know what to do. You can go to destinyconnectfoundation.org. Just find our contact there. Our emails are there. Send us a message, and we'll be glad to host you so that you can come and also share your story. And we are grateful, to be talking about the power of social media for impact. This is what we spoke about today, and I'm so honored to have hosted Felicia Baxter. Guys, take care of yourself. You heard what she said. Don't start where she started, but start where she finishes. So even me, I say that to myself, to the next generation: don't start where I started, start where I finished. I mean, those are the words that are already embroidered in my heart, because I believe that these are the words that they create something positive out of you. Thank you so much, Untold Story of Hope podcast. Thank you so much, my team, and everyone who watched today. My name is Pafimi Dupi, all the way from South Africa, and I'm so grateful. We see you next time in the next episode. Salute and sharp sharp.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Untold Stories of Hope podcast. We hope you enjoyed and you were inspired by today's conversation. Remember, you can get more access to resources plus join a thriving global community of changemakers by visiting our website at destinyconnectfoundation.org. Please subscribe to our channel and spread the word. Don't forget to turn the notification on. Until next time, keep inspiring your world.